Historically, when we share good news, whether spreading literacy, new technology, or religious traditions, we package it in rigid, institutional containers. It usually arrives with rules, expectations, and strings attached. But that kind of rigid framing struggles when sharing a universal tool like Lingua Clara. A secular educator in Brazil and a Daoist hermit in the Wudang Mountains might both be seeking knowledge, but forcing that knowledge through a specific institutional filter risks alienating the very people who need it. We need a different way to think about giving. The water teaching separates the pure impulse to share knowledge from the institutional names that usually enclose it. To share the tools of the future, we have to let go of rigid containers and look instead to a 2.5 millennia-old Daoist cosmology, the flow of water. This historical text, the Tao Te Ching, points directly to water as the model for the highest good. The text explains it benefits the 10,000 things and does not contend, deliberately flowing downward to the lowly places everyone else disdains. Applied to the sharing of knowledge today, our tools must go where they are most needed without making demands. They must flow silently to the village without electricity, to the oral tradition without a written script, and to the scholar whose decipherment work is locked behind a paywall. True giving cleans the dirt without complaint. It requires a quiet demeanor that benefits the world, asks for no recognition, and passes on. But water has a second face. Chapter 78 of the Tao Te Ching introduces a paradox. Nothing in the world is softer or weaker than water, yet nothing surpasses it when it attacks the hard and the strong. When water is respected, it nourishes. But when you disrespect what flows freely by damming knowledge for private profit, erecting paywalls, or monetizing the free labor of unnamed ancestors, that water comes back. It comes back as a broken dam and a rising sea. This duality is visible in the character Nyan, the word for year. Its structure preserves two different memories of how time passes. This is an ancient oracle bone fragment. The etched symbol for Nyan depicts a person carrying grain on their back, representing the life-giving cycle of the annual harvest. But folk memory added a second layer. In regional traditions, the Nyan is also remembered as a destructive dragon beast that emerges once a year to threaten the villages. It is why loud firecrackers and red banners are used at the New Year. It is respect paid in advance to keep the beast at bay. The harvest comes from the exact same cycle as the flood. The powers that sustain life are the identical powers that, if their flow is betrayed or enclosed, will return as a roaring dragon. Those ancient warnings apply directly to how we build and share within the modern digital commons. We have to figure out how to structure our systems so the water continues to flow safely. This brings us to a practical, 3-part method to keep the dragon asleep: the care, share, and dare framework. Care operates as an irresistible force that yields in order to give. Sharing translates that intent into reality using open ledgers and transparent attribution. And dare is the courage to think outside the box and dismantle the existing dams and toll booths. Without that courage, sharing becomes timid distribution. Take away sharing, and care becomes private comfort. Take away care, and daring becomes a destructive ambition. But all three operating together, that is conscience in action. This entire approach acts as a companion to the Sequoia principle. It is a mandate ensuring that originators of knowledge are honored and that the digital commons remain open to everyone. We have to let the good news flow freely to the low places. We must refuse the toll booths on the river and honor the sleeping dragon in the deep by never presuming upon what was given freely by those who came before. Care provides the gentle face to a force that, like water, eventually outlasts the hardest obstacles it meets.